Welcome everyone to Referee Radio. I am your host, JFox40. And I've been off the air for a while, but I plan to make 2016 a return to the airwaves. So let's not chatter about it. Let's get underway. I want to talk today about problem situations. Okay, what problem situations do we get in as referees? There's a lot of them. There are problems with players. There are problems with coaches. There are problems with spectators. Sometimes there's problems with other referees, right? And how do we, number one, identify those problems, and how can we work to avoid those problems if we can identify them early? That's the trick. Now, like I said, there's so many problems. I could sit here for a week and talk about all the situations you could come across as a referee. Everybody has their own experiences out there. We all encounter different situations. Okay, but many of them have the same trends. They have the same identifying markers. For instance, players. Be able to identify what players. This starts right when you walk on the pitch, right when you're checking in the teams. If you have a good attitude, a positive attitude, you're respectful to the players, most of them will show respect to you. And watch, some of those players that, they might give you a hard time when you're checking them in. Okay, here's a guy who's probably might have a little attitude. See the identifiers. And definitely when a game starts, you can tell, okay, who's going to be maybe a hothead. And then you're going to have to manage that hothead. Okay? And you might have to talk with them. See what they're about. But try to win over other players in the game that you can, if you can develop a rapport with a player out on the field that can help you as a referee with, managing the team. You can maybe say a word to him and can start talking to their teammates. So, identify who your allies are too out there on the field. Okay, but you can see those coaches also. When you walk up to them, if you've got a positive attitude, hey, nice to meet you, coach. I'm your referee today, JFox40. And he's like, oh, nice to meet you. You shake hands. I'm Bill Smith, and you're off to a good start. That's good. You're going to see some of those coaches. That everything. If you ask them one simple thing, it's a chore. Coach, do you have your player passes? Oh, You ask them to pump up a ball because they give you flat soccer balls, which happens a lot. Make sure the damn balls are inflated, people, because half the game balls we get at the center line are not inflated properly. But that's a side note. But asking them to pump up a ball, they give you a hard time. Or if they're home team and they have to change in the event of a conflict, and they know this, they'll give you a hard time about it. That's a coach identifier that you're going to have an issue. And if you know this going in, and you can identify those things, and then you can be prepared of how you might have to deal with it. And hopefully you won't. Hopefully the game will go well and you'll get out of there. But if you can identify that problem before it happens and know how you're going to deal with it using the steps, just keep it in your mind how you might have to address it. You'll be prepared to deal with those situations. And when we deal with them early, when we make them, sometimes it's a battle of wills, and those coaches want to intimidate you. because they want their way. They want to, and the players want to intimidate you. You see, and you've got to be strong. Okay? And you've got to be self-centered, and you got to rely on your teammates. Okay? You know how nice it is when you got ARs who are on your side? It's a good situation to have everybody in the crew on the same page and hustling and supporting one another. We have to. I can't stress this enough. We have to work together, because that helps. When we identify those problems, we can deal with them. Maybe that AR on that side, you can have a little chat with them when you're walking, or her, when you're walking back to before the match starts. Say, hey, did you see that coach? How they were? Yeah, I did. You have a little discussion about it. Say, here's how we can handle it. Here's how I want to handle it if it escalates. Because inevitably people are going to disagree with your calls. Sometimes coaches will, spectators will, even we as referees will disagree with one another. That's normal. Okay, I'm talking about the problem situations. You see that player that's going to be tackling hard. He's playing way too rough. You might have to just say, whoa, buddy. Blow that hard whistle and say, hey, man, you can play hard, but you got to play under control, please. And stress things to him politely and respectfully. And sometimes that, show them respect, they will in return show you respect. And you can identify those problems before they start. All right? Hell, like I said, I could go on forever talking about problem situations, and there could be a part 2, 3, 4 on this. But for now, this is J Fox 40. Take care, everyone.